Good afternoon. It is Sunday, May 21st, 2023. It is All-Star Race Sunday, and with that, we have a few events, most of which coming from the All-Star Race. So we'll start on this date in 1989. If you remember that one, a lot of people called it the Bump and Run Winston. Rusty Wallace won the All-Star Race, spinning Darrell Waltrip as they were coming to the white flag, bringing out the caution. And NASCAR had some, again, this was kind of sketchy. Darrell thought he should restart in second position because he spun. The team made him come in and change tires since they were going to put him back about eighth anyway, so he came in and changed tires. I think that's what happened. I don't remember if he changed tires or not. He may not have. But I do know that they thought that he should at least be starting in second because that's where he was when the caution came out. But of course, he was sliding backwards through the infield. NASCAR said no dice. Of course, we've seen recently at Darlington where cars were involved in accident and NASCAR placed them back in their position of the prior scoring loop, which, again, I agreed with Bubba on that call. That was totally, totally wrong. So we'll move forward to 1994. This was a crazy night. I recommend you go on the YouTube and go. 1992 was one hot night. 1994 should be called one crazy night. They had the Winston Open, the prelude to the Winston for the drivers that hadn't qualified for the Winston yet. And I believe the top 5 or 6 would transfer in. And they had a vicious crash in the first turn, took out many of the top contenders. Then in the All-Star race itself, it just seemed like a crash fest. But it was still a very competitive race, and Jeff Bodine won that. So go back on your YouTube machine and look up 1994, the Winston. Watch it from flag to flag. It was just pretty exciting all night. 1995, Tim Fedewa. This is the only non-All-Star highlight that I have for you. 1995, Tim Fedewa at Nazareth wins his first Busch Series race. And the only race for DR Racing, I believe, is what it was known as. At the time, they were kind of an affiliate to the Radius team in the Cup Series or the DeWitt team. They had some affiliation, not exactly sure what that was, if Ray and Diane DeWitt did own the Busch car. I don't really know enough about that. Then on this day in 2011, Carl Edwards won the All-Star race. Of course, that's the famous highlight of him taking the victory slide through the infield and ripping the front of the car off on the access road. So totals the car in victory celebration. We got 4 birthdays today, but only one I had cards of. One I know I've got one card of, but it is buried somewhere, and I looked through about 500 cards, couldn't find it, and it's in a box of about 3,000. So born on this date in 1991, Brandon McReynolds, son of Larry McReynolds. Of course, Brandon did run some ARCA races. He works with Fox as their spotter analyst during the Xfinity Series races, and I believe he's Joey Logano's spotter, if I'm remembering correctly, for the Cup Series races. But yeah, Brandon has a card in that same set that has the Chase Elliott rookie card. I believe it's 2011 Elements, somewhere in there. But I do have one. It's just buried somewhere in my rookie card box. Like I said, it's got about 3,000 cards in it. So I need to get that a little more organized. Also born on this date, and I honestly thought I had a card of this guy, but when I looked on TCDB, no, I don't. Born on this date in 1942, the Flying Hawaiian, Danny Ongais. I honestly thought he was in one of the A&S sets that I had, but he's not. But Danny, always fast, but usually over the edge, has had several wild and crazy crashes. I think the one everyone remembers is 1981 Indy 500. He was driving the Interscope team car, and it looked like a fatal crash. It was not. It's very graphic as his legs are dangling. It kind of reminds you of Stan Fox's crash in 95. Of course, his arms are just dangling out of the car, and he was knocked out. He did have some broken bones. He did make a recovery. And he also ran for Penske in 87 and crashed in practice and had a concussion. So Penske tabbed Al Unser Sr. to drive in relief of Danny Ongais in a backup car. And Al Unser Jr. goes out and wins his 4th Indy 500 that day. Most recently, Danny Ongais, known for being the fill-in substitute driver for Scott Brayton in 96, when Scott was tragically killed during that practice crash for the 96 race after Scott had won the pole for the race. So Danny ended up starting the race from the 33rd and final spot in a backup car, and I believe he finished 8th that day. I didn't look, but I know he had a really good run. He stayed out of trouble driving one of the Menard entries. Also a driver that I don't have cards for, born on this date in 2003, current Xfinity Series regular Parker Retzlaff. Of course, if he can get a good, solid ride, look for big things from Parker. I know he's in the 31 car, the Jordan Anderson car. Not saying that's a shabby car. It's not. Jeb Burton won at Talladega in it. I just think that they're just kind of a 12th to 16th place team at this stage of the game. Yeah, maybe if they get more support and become an alliance team with like an RCR or something, I think they could move up the rankings in the Xfinity Series. But Parker Retzlaff celebrating birthday number 20 today. And then, see here, the final birthday today, born on this date in 1924, did pass away in 2012. Legendary car builder, driver, owner, crew chief, etc., and Hall of Famer, Mr. Cotton Owens. So here we have Cotton is one of the 50 greatest drivers. Then his NASCAR Hall of Fame, 2013 inductee. Got some 92 Pro set here with him as a driver. I mean, look at that. That was the safety at the day. That leather, like the old style football helmet and skiing goggles or what have you. Of course, there he is. Part of the original Coca-Cola family of drivers there. In those glass bottles with real sugar. And then we have a Press Pass Legends. And there you see he's leaning up against David Pearson's car. So anyway, Cotton Owens would have been 99 today. So, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another rip. Not sure who's going to win the All-Star race today, but it should be a good one. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.